Since moving Rudnik to his new boarding facility at the end of August, we've gotten a lot of comments asking, why on earth would you move him from lush green pastures like this to dry, bare, gross land like this? And that's a totally fair question, because honestly, you would think that seeing horses in lush green pasture would be the best possible environment for them. However, with Rudnik, that's not really the case. Because Rudnik's a quarter horse, he's naturally going to be thicker, but he is also an extremely easy keeper. And what this means is it does not take much for him to gain weight. And when he eats, and horses are designed to be eating 16 to 18 hours a day, he bulks on weight fast. So when he was on the lush green pastures of the previous boarding facility, he was always struggling to keep his weight off. This past spring, we ended up with a pretty good scare because he ended up bulking up weight so quickly that he quickly exceeded 1,300 pounds. Because the pasture was so lush and so green and it was constantly being irrigated, and he's spending 16 to 18 hours a day grazing, it really did not take long for him to bulk on that weight. And unfortunately, at that point, there's really no amount of riding or exercise you can do alone that is going to get that weight off. And what happens in these cases is horses aren't going to regulate. They're not going to eat less because they're gaining the weight. So you need to remove them from that environment, give them a place where they can still graze those 16 to 18 hours a day that they need to, but simply monitor and limiting what it is they're eating. And because when their weight gets to that level, it can cause problems to the point where you may actually lose your horse, laminitis, foundering, colic, all kinds of health problems. It becomes very dangerous very fast. And because the lush green pasture was our only option at that place, I had to put him into a dry pen and give him hay. But even then, the hay had such high sugar in it because it came from the same field, it really didn't help him to lose the weight very quickly. So after moving him to our new facility at the end of August, his weight has actually started coming down to a much healthier level. And even now, he's down under 1,200 pounds. He's lost over 100 pounds. It's great. I don't have that same worry or that same stressor anymore that he's going to colic or founder. However, we do still get comments saying he's very obese, he needs to lose weight, put him on a diet. But I think people forget that not all horses are thoroughbreds and Arabs. Not all horses are going to be lean and slender. Rudnik's a quarter horse. He's naturally going to have more bulk than a lot of the leaner show horses that you see. However, pushing 1,300 pounds was extremely dangerous for him, and even the vet said that closer to around 1,150 is where we want to be. He probably only has about 40 more pounds to lose, but being on the sparser pasture that he's on now has been so much better for his health. It still gives him the option of being able to graze for that 16 to 18 hours a day without me having to worry that he's going to overdo it and bulk on all that weight again. And because when there's not as much grass in that pasture for them, they're supplemented with hay. The hay that they're getting is just grass hay. So even that is very low in sugar, and it's a lot easier to maintain and control their weight with that. So there's many things that go into play as to why I moved him from the lush green pasture that you saw him in before to the dry, barren land, what you consider dry, barren land that he's on now. He's in much better shape now. He's a much healthier weight. We're closer to our goal. And now he gets to do all of the grazing horses are meant to do without the concern of all of that extra weight gain.